There are no happy crooks. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story today. I did an interesting experiment, as I always do. Um, as you know, I sell programs that have, information I went out and obtained, and I sell them. And people who, they listen to them, they get the knowledge without having to suffer through the trials and tribulations, right? So I put out a program that I released a year ago for money. I put it out for free, just as an experiment. Now, I usually don't do that, and I'm never going to do it again. But it was an experiment, right? I wanted to see how people would react to it. And I noticed that people have a mentality, and I used to have this mentality too. So I'm not even knocking anyone who has this mentality, but it's something you need to remove from yourself because it actually holds you back. See, a lot of people, and myself included for a very long time, we have this taker mentality. We want to get as much as we can for free. We want to take, and we want to use it to build money, and what we think is power. The problem with this mentality is that when you're really in tune with nature, you understand how nature works, right? You understand the science of actually being a peaceful, happy person. This mentality is in direct opposition to that peace of mind you're truly trying to obtain. See, all of us want peace, happiness, a nice, good group of friends, stability in our lives. Of course, we want to have enough resources to be comfortable, but that's only part of the equation. That's not the whole equation. That's literally maybe 1/5 of what you need, right? Let's use Ty Lopez's health, wealth, love, and happiness approach, right? You having this taker mentality, you're sacrificing health, love, and happiness for wealth when you have this taker mentality. And I'll explain what I'm saying. So I released a program today that I did a year ago. Now, when I recorded this program, I was not as conscious as I am now. And all consciousness is bringing out things that were inside of you all along. It's not reaching higher levels. It's not like a video game. It's not going from level 1 to 100. Those are all egotistical projections of what you think consciousness is. You gotta understand, the original man, before modern society, before technology, was much more conscious than the average man today. We think because we have technology, we have all these advancements, we're conscious. We're not. We are so much dumber than we were in our primal form, right? We don't know how to eat. We don't know how to make connections with friends. We're trapped in technology. We're lonelier than ever. So I released this program today. Now, I did a warning on this program and the description. I said, look, this program is something that I recorded when I was in a lower level of consciousness. It's great if you're trying to use it to jumpstart yourself to get motivated, but it's not the program that's going to give you that healthy mentality you want to have peace and happiness and basically to have the whole enchilada, right? You want everything life has to offer. This isn't that. This is just that kick in the ass program that's going to get you out there. And when I look back on it, that was even the wrong approach for me to take. I should have just been teaching people how to become conscious and free, and whatever they do after that is second in importance to just being free and conscious, right? So I had a phone call coming in. So here's the thing. I had a few people commenting on this program. They were saying, "Oh, awesome. I'm glad you released this program for free because now I don't have to pay you for it. And I bet you're going to just release all your other programs for free too. So I'm just not going to pay for those either." Now, this raised a lot of red flags in me. And the old me, when I still had this taker mentality, that would have pissed me off to no end. That would have made me so mad that I would have started hiding programs. I would have started plotting how I'm going to release watered down programs that have a fraction of the information but still charge full price. And that's my ego, right? That's me. And I would have justified it by saying, oh, well, if they don't want to pay me, then I'm going to give them crappy information because they don't deserve it. And here's the truth, right? The true information that sets you free, right? When you truly embody it, you lose that taker mentality. It makes you a more generous person. It makes you a more loving, giving person. It makes you a person that wants to have more friendships, more real, deep relationships, right? So if I were to embody that taker mentality again, I would lose my consciousness, and I would start to become more antisocial. I would start to become more selfish, and then I would actually start losing things that I have. So that's why I'm not afraid if my programs get leaked in the future. I'm talking upcoming programs, because this information, it's either going to set you free and turn you into a more generous, loving person, a healthier person, both physically and spiritually, or it's going to do absolutely nothing for you. So you got to understand, for me, it's a win-win. Whether you buy it and go through the sort of awakening that it'll give you, that's a win for me, because awesome, I just created another happy, peaceful, loving person out there. Maybe that person can become my friend one day, who knows? And then if you keep that taker mentality, the program will do absolutely nothing for you. So whether you pay for it or whether you get it for free, nature wins either way. You see what I'm saying? When you're in accordance with nature, you got to understand nature is the ultimate pimp. So a lot of you guys have this taker mentality. You think, I'm going to take this, I'm going to steal that, I'm going to hoard my money, and I'm not going to pay for something. That mentality is going to keep you trapped in an endless cycle of chasing. You're never going to have what you want with that mentality. See, the people who are willing to spend money on things, a lot of the time, it's not that because they paid for it that they deserve the blessing or some shit that it has to offer. They already were a little bit healthier mentally than the person who tries to steal it. So when they pay for it, it's already showing that they have a step in the right direction consciously of willing to be open-minded, willing to be generous, willing to be a giving person. And it's an affirmation to themselves that they're actually giving in more ways than they know they are, as far as their nature. So when they get this knowledge that teaches them how to find peace and how to be giving and how to be loving and how to create what they want and how to enjoy the joys and that creating something has to offer. If you've ever created anything, you know what I'm talking about. That program will resonate with them even faster. The person who still has this taker mentality, this greedy mentality, they're going to have to go through so much more deprogramming to be able to find that bliss and that peace of mind. And you're creating so much more suffering in yourself when you have this taker mentality. Now, look, I'm not saying don't be selfish. As far as being selfish simply means you take care of the self, right? But when you have this sort of greedy taker mentality, which is a step above being selfish, but in the wrong direction, you're going to have to humble yourself eventually, and you're going to have to walk backwards, right? Because you're not in yourself anymore. You're outside the body. You're seeking something externally when you have this greedy taker attitude. You're going to have to come back to yourself. You're going to have to come back to your body. You're going to have to dive within, and you're going to have to do more work to find yourself, to remove that parasite that's in you. That's a mental parasite when you have a taker mentality. So what I'm trying to say is, whether you're going to pay for something or not, regardless, whether you ever even buy any of my programs, it doesn't matter. Remember that taker mentality is going to close a lot of opportunities in your life. I'll give you an example. Let's use a woman, for example, right? You have a woman who devotes, and of course these are so rare these days because most women have a taker mentality, but let's pretend you have this hardworking young woman who learns how to be, she's like, you know what? I just want to devote my life to becoming the best wife I can be for my husband. So she's like a teenager. She's learning from her grandparents or her parents how to be a loving wife, doing what her grandparents did to make their marriage last 50 years. and she's studying it. And then when she's like 18 or 21, she goes out into the world. She finds a good man. She locks him down, and she just decides to be that solid wife. And she has that happily ever after from age 20, 30, 40, 50. She has the kids. He loves her so much because she's so giving. He buys her the house, right? Now you have another woman who says, you know what? I want to party in my teens and 20s, and I'll just find some guy when I'm in my 30s. So she doesn't develop any of those qualities to be that loving, genuine woman. She parties, she does drugs, she sleeps around, and then she says, man, when I'm 30, I'll just trick some guy into thinking I'm that, loving woman, and we'll just live happily ever after. So now 30 comes along. She's been with 100 guys. She doesn't know anything about making a man happy. All she can attract is beta males because her looks have faded. She has the horrible personality of a hot girl with the ugliness of a worn-out party slut physically, and she's just doomed to be a lonely cat lady. That's the taker mentality running its course on you. Whether you're a man or woman, you're sacrificing your own development in your prime, thinking you're one-upping everyone, and you're going to pay for that in the long run. So whether you buy any of my programs or not, whether you pay for them, whether you get them for free, understand that this taker mentality is robbing you more than it's giving you. You're not getting anything at the end of the day. You're getting the possession, you're getting the material physically, but you're missing the spiritual lesson entirely. So that's why it's impossible to be happy as a crook, right? When you have a crook mentality, when you have a taker mentality. And take it from a guy who used to be a crook, straight up. Not necessarily on YouTube, but who used to partake in illegal activities and shit like that. Me and my friends used to dine and dash from restaurants. Me and my friends used to sell a little bit of drugs here and there and shit like that. And you get a rush in the moment from feeling like you've cheated the system and you feel like you're rebelling against the system, but you're actually robbing yourself in the long term. You're robbing yourself of so many beautiful relationships you could have spent time forming, so many beautiful opportunities you could have created something, right? Instead of taking and then spending and then having nothing, you could have created something that lasts forever. So that's just the moral of that story. That's why crooks never win.